Wait, hold up. There's a good update for Battlefield 6? That can't be true. That can't be right. It must be a lie, right? Surely. Well, if you're a pessimistic person that looks at facts, you will be kinda right. Good update, don't get me wrong, but it's not perfect, and sometimes I wonder what's being playtested all the time before the press publish. But hey, we'll talk about that. Welcome to Battlefield 1 Podcast, the best Battlefield-related podcast on the planet, the only Battlefield-related podcast on the planet, unfortunately. My name is Tom, also known as TheLankySoldier. I'm your host as usual, and we're gonna talk about Season 2 Nightfall Impressions. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, you have to listen to me ramble for an hour and find out. So, let's just go to it.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again, and
That was something, right?
that was something.
I'm sorry, you cancelled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a train?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to like QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed.
Oh, I would love
It
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see
again,
that. First and foremost, of course, as usual, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know what I'm gonna say. I want to thank you for joining me for another hour of us, well, me in this case, talking about Battlefield. Thank you so much for choosing us to be your number one source for Battlefield news or impressions, or whatever the case may be. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you for clicking on this podcast. It will be Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever the case may be. Thank you so much for choosing us and just listen to me ramble about Battlefield. Thank you so much. So, and of course, Patreon supporters. If without you guys, this show would not exist without our Patreon supporters. You know, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. If it wasn't for you guys, this show would not exist. Thank you for all the support and everything. So, thank you so much. Before we continue, I just want to say this. So, Spotify did a change on their app. Their app. Yeah, I would say app. Yeah, the website app, whatever. Spotify, right? Like the famous audio platform for music and podcast, all that kind of stuff, right? So Spotify did a recent change how they distribute or showcase new content to you. So if you let's say 50% of the people listening to this podcast are now following us on Spotify, so I mean all the Spotify listeners, and if you follow us, there was like a little page on the left side of the screen where you could actually click on it, and it just says what's new, right? So if you follow our podcast, you would instantly get notification or whatever, like it will be in your list that something new came out, right? So Spotify did a change, and they basically removed that page. They added like a history page or history screen, which I don't think anyone needs that. Like, why the fuck I would even need that? So you have a history page now, and you have like your updates or something like that. And I click on that, and it's the most convoluted shit ever. And it took me a while to figure out how to find the podcast I listen, right? Because I listen to other podcasts, I follow them on Spotify, all that kind of stuff. And it took me a while to figure out how to find the shows I want to listen. And because they removed the what's new page on Spotify, it basically nuked our audience to oblivion. Last episode was the worst performing episode in the last 3 years, which is basically unheard of, right? Like it's the most. On Spotify it just doesn't perform whatsoever, while it performs on other platforms just well, like as you expect, right? Apple Podcast, Audible, whatever the case may be, it's performing just fine on those platforms. But because Spotify did that change where your new stuff doesn't appear on your screen, it's like YouTube removing a subscription page, basically. So when you open YouTube on a PC or a laptop, whatever the case may be, right, and you see this like For You page, the For You screen and everything, and you don't have any subscription, like you can't click on your subscriptions and see what anyone posted, right? So this is what happened, basically. It's like Spotify removed your subscription page and replace it with a For You screen. So, and because of that, no one knew that, or at least the new listeners, they had no idea that we posted a new episode of Battlefield 1 Podcast, even though we post one every week, but they don't know that, right? So new listeners have no idea that we posted a new episode. because now it's being basically recommended in the For You page on Spotify. And it just basically nuked our audience numbers to oblivion. It's like I said, the worst performing episode in the last 3 years. Since I started this episode, it's definitely one of the top 5 worst performing episodes from all the 76 episodes we made. Wait, this is the 77th episode, I think? Yeah, 77. So 77 episodes. This is in the bottom 5 performing episodes so far. Like the last episode, I mean. Because Spotify introduced this feature that no one asked for. So now it's much difficult for you to find the stuff that you want to listen. What's the point following a show on Spotify if you can't find it anyway? Like, it's not in your subscription page, in your subscription screen or whatever you want to call this. I don't know. So that sucks. Thank you, Spotify, for this shit change that no one asked for. And I've seen some other shows and everything, like just to see it for comparison. Yeah, they experienced the same thing. Everyone experienced the same thing. Since this new change, people just had no idea that someone posted a new episode. So I hope whoever is screaming at Spotify right now are screaming well, and because you have to scream at these people, because I'm like, what? Do you even use your own platform to understand how people consume content on your platform, right? Do you even use it? And then, they basically, because of this change, our audience just got nuked to oblivion. So, if you're on Spotify, of course, do follow us, do leave a rating. But I do recommend to follow, join us on Patreon. Not subscribe, join as a free member on Patreon. You don't have to subscribe, because at least on Patreon, you're gonna get those episodes like that, on time, in timely manner, with no problems, and everything's in one place. So that's that. Or follow us on Apple Podcasts, or whatever the case may be, right? If you want to move on, if you listen to this and were confused, or was the new episodes always a bit difficult, whatever, just join Patreon. It's just much easier, because you will get instant access to all the episodes, right? And they're ad-free. If you join as a free member, you will not get them early access as other members, because people pay for early access, but you're gonna get them regardless, and they're gonna be ad-free, because I'm not gonna repost a new version of the episode on Patreon with ads, right? So I'm not gonna do that. It's just early access for the early access people, and after that, if you're on Patreon, you can listen to it without any ads, So that's that. So I recommend to join our Patreon if you really enjoy the show, you really enjoy the podcast. Just join our Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Join as a free member, and you will get notifications when the new episode is out. As I noticed that Apple Podcast is finally doing notifications when we post on that platform. Apple Podcast does notify you, hey, Battlefield 1 Podcast released a new episode. You want to listen? Spotify doesn't really do that. And they even made it difficult for you to see the new content. Listen, why is history is more important than the new stuff? In what universe is that more important? I already listened to the podcast. I listened to the episode. Why do I need to go back there? Are you insane? Who even came up with that? So like I said, on Spotify, our audience completely got nuked because of this change. It's just insane. We'll see how this episode is gonna do, but it's just I was so pissed and annoyed, and it's just basically ruined my day. Well, how do I fix this? Well, I can't really fix anything, because Spotify, it's not my platform, I don't control Spotify. I just basically go with the vibes that what they ever decide, and they decide, what, fuck you. That's what they decide. So okay. So like I said, if you listen on Spotify, I recommend to join us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts, because a much better listening experience, much better listening experience than Spotify is right now, which pissed me off so much. And of course, the new listeners and everything, they're thinking, well, why they haven't posted anything? We did, you just never got notified, because Spotify hides that for some reason. I just wanted to say that. And one more thing, before we go to the impressions and everything. I'm just sick of the Battlefield community, or just gamers in general, of just being extremely negative about everything. And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, toxic positivity, or like, oh, you have to be positive about it, like, stop bitching about it, like, also, I'm sorry if you hear a jet above my head. I'm kind of sick of that, because I'm sick of, like, every time I launch Battlefield 6, I get a message, either on Discord, or Steam, or whatever, some of my friends, like, why are you playing Battlefield 6? Why are you launching this game? Why are you supporting them and so on? Why are you supporting this shit? I'm like, okay. Sorry, what are you playing? The last time I checked, you're playing World of Warcraft. The other guy's playing Ark Raiders. Okay? It's not like you guys have any things to say to me about, like, I know they're just trolling and everything, but I'm just like, fuck off. Just like, you know, like, it's just like, I'm just sick of, and when I read, like, for example, on social media, just people bitching about Battlefield 6 and all that kind of stuff, like, don't get me wrong, Battlefield 6 is not perfect, but I'm just like thinking, is there a bit of nuance? Maybe can we have a bit of context and all that kind of stuff? No, it has to be. It's like so tribal these days about everything. It's either this side or that side and nothing in the middle. It's like, hey, I can agree with both of you, or I can agree with both sides. Doesn't mean I have to choose one of you. You know, both of you can be wrong at the same time. Just because I agree with both of you doesn't mean you both are right. You know, there's a bit of nuance and everything, and that's why I even started this Battlefield 1. This is why I started this fucking podcast in the first place, because there's a lot of nuance that needs to be discussed, and it's never black and white. It never was. Battlefield franchise was never black and white. I think majority of AAA shooters, majority of them at least a good chunk of them, are not just black and white. There's loads of stuff moving in the background, loads of moving pieces, loads of context, loads of positives and negatives, and something in the middle, and it's like bigger stories here, like is it the developers' fault or the gamer's fault, and so on, all the kind of stuff, right? I'm just sick of that. I'm sick of your fucking negativity. I really hate all of you. Just people just bore me, like, oh, why are you playing Battlefield 6? Well, because I enjoy Battlefield 6, you know. I enjoy RedSec, you know, I enjoy it, you know. For example, played Black Ops Royale a couple of rounds, but finally they have solos, yeah, because everyone I knew doesn't play COD anymore. So, like, from 15 people I used to play Call of Duty, none of them play Call of Duty now. So, like, okay, solos out for Black Ops Royale. Alright, let's play it properly, right? Like, let's have a proper experience. I played 3 rounds, I'm bored of it. So, I don't want to play Black Ops Royale. I'd rather play normal Warzone Battle Royale. But that's a different story for another day. I'm just like, this is not fun. I have more fun in RedSec. My friend, you know, our Mexican token friend, or token Mexican friend, whatever you want to say, from Discord, just like, hey, you want to play? We play fucking RedSec duos and we're having so much fun. It's fun. Is it problematic? Oh, fuck yeah. It has so many problems that we just want to slap someone that dies, or ripple effect in this case. But it's still fun, you know. It's still fun. I can acknowledge the game has problems, and I still can have fun. If I don't have fun, I'm just gonna stop playing. Simple as that. It's not that deep, you know. It's not that deep, you know. But why it has to be tribal and everything? So yeah, I'm just sick of you all. So in the next, you know, future episodes of Battlefield 1 podcast, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I just don't care what you all think. Like, I really, even the podcast feedback sometimes we get, there was like, well, you guys being too negative, oh, you guys being too positive. I'm like, this is how we feel on that time, on that particular moment. I don't give a fuck what you think. But if you want to have a nice discussion about Battlefield, we can have a nice discussion about Battlefield. And we both can be on opposite sides of the camp. It's fine. We can agree to disagree. It's fine. And we're not going to be bitches about it. Oh, it's like, oh, I like the blue mechanic. I don't like the blue mechanic. And that's fine. Who cares? Can we have fun playing the game? Yes. So then what's the problem, right? We can have discussions and everything. That's why I don't really, like, want to attack people, or like people, like or developers or player base, whatever. But I will call out some stupid shit. But I'm just like sick of just bitching, non-stop bitching. Everything is bad and horrible and everything. I'm like, guys, you guys living some really sad lives. I really don't give a fuck. Listen, my life is already as shit as it can be, right? And it probably can get worse. I'm looking for any positives that make me a little bit happy, right? Hey, listen, I have a roof on them, you know, I have a roof above my head. I have a nice cat. I have a wife. Life is good. It's the simple things, right? And if a video game is fun to me and I can talk about it on a podcast, fantastic. You know what? Small stuff, the small stuff that mean the world to me, right? It's great, you know. And if something that doesn't make me in a video game, you know what? I'm 33 years old. I can just close the game and move on and play something else instead of bitching. And besides, the publishers see like, you know, big, like they see like, oh, this guy's stopped playing. Why is that? Well, it's for you to figure out as a developer, right? Money speaks, right? Hey, you made a bad game, you made bad decisions, I'm not gonna play your game. Simple as that. And everything else bitching like, oh, why are you supporting it? It's like, the last time I checked, Battlefield is not really holding a gun in front of my face to, you know, play this game, right? I play because I enjoy it, you know, that kind of stuff, right? I'm just like, I'm sick of like this. I play Call of Duty because I enjoy Call of Duty. If I don't play if I don't enjoy the particular particular thing that is happening in Call of Duty now, I'm not gonna play it. Black Ops Royale, for example, I'm not gonna play it. I don't think it's fun. I really don't think it's fun. I don't think it's really interesting to me. I'm just like, not for me. I'd rather play RedSec with our friend Monkey, and that's fine. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, let's talk about the general stuff about Nightfall Impressions, Season 2 Nightfall. How is it? Let's talk general stuff first. Okay, 15 minutes later, finally, let's talk about Nightfall. So, Season 2 Nightfall finally came out. We're in Stage 2 of Season 2. And loads of things got changed, loads of things got improved, and you know what? Overall, the Nightfall patch, this update, is really good. I like the map. I like the weapons. It's a bitch to unlock them because you can't even unlock them if you're playing this properly without paying for the... Okay, so I unlocked the new weapon right now. They're using the same tactic as any live service game these days. You can't unlock it now unless you pay for the tiers on the mini battle pass, whatever it is, or you buy the weapon package, the blueprint, whatever, from the store. And you can unlock the weapon basically this week, when this episode is going to be up on Tuesday. That's when you can unlock the weapon by completing the weeklies and everything. So 2 weeks later, you can finally play with the weapons. I played with a new weapon in RedSec without attachments and all that kind of stuff, but it's a bit annoying. But I understand why is this like this, because it's making them money. Is it the best thing ever? No, I don't like it. I really don't like it. But you know what? This is the lesser evil, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I'm going on tangent here. Overall, the package of this update is really good. I like the changes they did to the game. I like the quality of life stuff they added to the game. I really like the new map, even though it has a bit of problems there, but I really like the new map. And I really like the new weapons. And I like the skins they added in the game. Their skins are chef's kiss, I think. I think that, I think I said it like a month ago. The new skins they added, or adding to the game, they're very, very good looking skins. And I'm like, oh, continue doing that. These are good skins. All right, keep going. And for example, weapon progression was updated and so on. But anyway, I do want to bitch about a little small pet peeve of mine, which is really like, it's not important. It's really not important. But so you know, there's a Red Bull dog tag in the game, right? So you had to buy a can of Red Bull or whatever. Then send them like a receipt or whatever the case may be, right? It's not sophisticated way of getting those dog tags as with Monster in Call of Duty. So in Monster, for example, so when you buy a Monster can with the Call of Duty branding on it, you basically need to open the can, and there's a code underneath the pin or whatever it's called, the thing that on the top, right? And you can't just like peek through it. You have to open the can to see the code. So that's why you have to buy the can. Unless you want to open 20 cans in the store, get all the codes, and then, be a criminal, whatever the case may be, right? So you open the can, you get a code, you go on Monster website, you put the code, and you get all your rewards for the game. It's that easy, right? With Red Bull, with Battlefield 6, you basically had to buy a can, And it was only specific regions too. It was only specific regions. You had to put the receipt and send it through a phone, through a WhatsApp or something like that. And then you have to wait for an answer for them to send you like a code or something like that you can redeem on their website or the EA website, whatever the case may be. Like, it's a very convoluted, complicated process of getting this dog tag, right? So I managed to get that dog tag because some friends live in USA, so they were helpful with that, and they managed to get a dog tag. And because I really enjoyed the dog tag, because it looked a really cool dog tag, right? It was different dog tag from everything else in the game, right? So it's like, oh, that's a very unique dog tag, and it's more interesting to look at than any other dog tag in the game. So I really want that dog tag. And they changed the dog tag to be more ugly. It has more color. It has more. It's over-designed as fuck. Doesn't have the logo anymore. It has the name Red Bull on it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's an ugly-ass dog tag. Why did you change the dog tag to this? Like, I don't understand why. Just why? Contacted me and told me it's not us. Like, it's not their fault. Like, because I was thinking, why a developer would just get out his way to change the design of this dog tag to be more ugly. At least give us 2 dog tags. At least give us the old design as an option. He contacted me and he literally said, it's not on us. It's Red Bull. It's Red Bull decide, hey, you have to change this into this. And they can't really do anything. EA can either remove the dog tag or change the design. Because it's not their property, right? It's Red Bull's property, basically. And EA has to oblige and do it. And I don't understand why Red Bull decided to be idiots. Well, why does it matter to you about this dog tag? This dog tag is fine. And now you change it into an ugly one and you have to force it on everyone. I'm like, why? It's just so stupid. So Red Bull just decided to be douchebags for no fucking reason. Like, and of course he said to me like, oh, the joys of working with a third-party company. Like it's yeah, I get that. I heard Fortnite is dealing with the same problem. Like, just IP holders and everything, they're just very specific and with their demands and everything. I'm just like, can we have a bit of common sense here? You know, a bit of common sense. But Red Bull apparently doesn't have any common sense. In this case, so they changed the dog tag. Is it important it's about a stupid dog tag? No, it's not important. It's not. But I'm just so annoyed that it's like, why? Just why? Now I have to like use a different dog tag or something. But the problem is, all the dog tags in the game are so garbage. They're so boring and stupid. I'm like, also, it's not important. Of course it's not. It's like you can't even showcase them properly. We're just like, why do you change that? Just why? So stupid. Anyway, so you can customize your profile, which with the stats in the game, like with all the different stats you have in the game, you can customize your profile, which is, hey, I'm glad someone is listening to this podcast because they actually listened to me and did something about it. That's great. Thank you. You can customize your profile screen with the stats you want, the badges you want, all that kind of stuff. That's fucking great. Love it. Problem is, you can only add the stats from the first page of all of the stat page. So there's like 7-8 pages of stats that you can look at on your profile, but you can only equip stats on your profile from the first page, and the other pages, like, you cannot. For example, I cannot put how many Battle Royale wins I have in the game. I cannot put that on my screen because reasons. Now, I think it's just a really unfinished thing. I don't think it's the developer decides, oh, 1 page is enough and so on. No, I think it's just because it was maybe rushed. Maybe it was a last minute addition, which I can believe it was. They're just like, okay, like, we can do the first page and we'll do the second pages later. I hope that's the case, because I would love to add how many Battle Royale wins I have on my profile page, you know, in the game. Great, that would be great. But I think it's just like, all right, I think it goes rushed. That's why. So I'm not gonna bitch too much about it, but I'm just like, why not the other pages, right? I would love to do that, but hey, again, it probably was rushed. So I will wait for the next update and see how it is. And But right now, positive change. Positive change. I was talking about skins and everything, but I'm just gonna mention this quickly. There's a new St. Patrick skin in the store, and I actually like that skin. It's actually a really cool soldier skin, and like I said, since Season 2, the skins so far been really good. So far, I hate every skin they've been adding. I'm not gonna buy every skin. Oh no, I only spent $20 on this game, and I'm happy with those spent $20 because so far I've been getting everything for free. I got the game for free. I got the Battlefield Pro for free and all that kind of stuff. It's only this season. You know what? I'll buy the Battlefield Pro. So that's the only thing I bought in this game entirely. I haven't bought any skins or whatever, but I still have currency. If I really want to, I'll get a skin. But anyway, it's a cool St. Patrick skin. I kind of like it. That's kind of cool. Continue with the general stuff. Contaminate was added to Domination. I'm kind of surprised about that. I was like, was it last match? Oh, not last match. What am I talking about? Last episode? Maybe not last episode. Maybe like 3 episodes ago. I was talking about, they just don't have the layout for Contaminated. That's why King of the Hill and Domination are not in the list. But they added Contaminate to Domination in this last update, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a surprise. They added Contaminated. And how's the layout? It's actually pretty okay. It's okay. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong. When it comes to Domination, it's but just you have a quick round of shooting people, it's good. I actually did not hate it. I think it's actually pretty okay. Has flanking routes, has some long, you can do long shots, you can do short range, and it's actually pretty okay. I'm kind of surprised. Contaminated Domination, yeah, kind of works. Weapon progression was definitely improved. It's much faster right now to level up your weapons, which is fantastic. Great. Like, it's a bit sped up. That's good. So I don't know how. So someone mentioned that there was like a curve. So it's much easier to level up to level 30, but it's a bit harder to level up from level 30 to level 50. Maybe that's the problem. But you know what? At this point, everything we've seen, how the guns perform and all that kind of stuff, level 30 with all the all the possible attachments you can have, it's kind of okay. It's kind of okay, because sometimes you don't even need to level up the weapon to level 40 to unlock all the attachments, because the attachments is not worth the effort of the grind. And if you really want the badge, yeah, you can reach level 50. But yeah, for example, I was finally playing some with other weapons, and I unlocked some attachments for AK-4D, the very I don't know what to call it. I call it tanky, but it's a very heavy assault rifle that shoots slow but hits like a truck. And I did some levels on it. It was pretty fast, especially there was a double XP happening in this last weekend. It was pretty fast. I think it was like okay speed. I was like, oh, I can actually play other weapons and someone level them fast. And they lower the camo requirements from like 5, 15 level and level 30. So that's kind of makes it easier. So that's great. So reaching level 30 on a gun basically puts you in a good spot with the gun. So that's great. So weapon progression is definitely faster, and I really, really like that. So that's great. Detail stats, speaking of, so you can finally check the detail stats for each weapon with the attachments. So you know how, like, when you are adding attachments to the gun, and you have like little bars showing you on the side what does, you get more precision, you get more mobility, all that kind of stuff, right? Recoil control, like, it's a very generic description or very generic way of showing what the attachment does. But now if you press a particular key when you're doing attachments on the gun, you can check detailed stats, and it gives you like a half of the screen of just it's a little, no, not a little, half of the screen box basically shows you all the important stats, like detailed stats, like, you get this much recoil, this percentage, this how much, 0.5 recoil reduction, all that kind of stuff. Great. I kind of like that. That's fantastic. So we can actually see what the attachment does. And when you go to this, detailed stats and everything, that's why I said reaching the weapon to level 30 is probably fine for majority of the guns. Because majority of the attachments don't really do much. Majority of the attachments, like according to these detailed stats, they don't do much. The differences are so minimal. Yeah, sure, in the grand scale of things, those minimal changes do a lot in certain situations. But I'm just like, so do you care what? One of the suppressors is still cost 25 points, right? And there's two suppressors, the QBC one and the long range. And do they have any difference other than the description is different? According to detailed stats, no, they're both the same. But the description says completely there's a big difference. So it's not really that detailed as they say, or the stats are actually correct and they don't do much difference. That also could be true. So that's why I like to look at the stats. I don't know what to believe. Should I believe the text or should I believe the stats? I think the stats are correct in this case because I just don't think the attachments do much. So that's that. They rewarded certain movement changes to the game. So last update, they made certain movement mechanics very clunky, slower, and just not fun entirely. And with this update, they rewarded some of it. So when I launched the game today, I'm like, oh, this feels snappy. It feels like it feels faster, feels more responsive, all that kind of stuff. And that's like, oh, that's good. Okay, I like that. Oh, okay. They actually listen to the feedback. They're not completely neutering us with the movement. I am so sorry if you hear like a drill or something in the background because construction is still happening on a Saturday. Why does fucking construction on a fucking Saturday? Who works on a Saturday in the middle of the day? Anyway. So what I was saying. Yeah, so they rewarded some of the movement mechanics to be like it was before Season 2. And that's good, because the game does feel a bit snappier, a bit more fast and everything. But me knowing DICE, I have a feeling it's because it was a mistake by them. Because they never mentioned anything, right? They never mentioned, oh, we're reverting certain movement mechanics to how it was before Season 2. They never mentioned the patch notes there's no... Developers don't even talk anymore that much in public anymore about the game because reasons. And I was like, oh, okay. So you basically just quietly rewarding them so we can actually... Like, what I don't know what was the situation with that is, but I just hope they did this. I hope they did this on purpose and not by mistake. If they did it by mistake, oh boy, there's gonna be so much bitching when they're gonna be fixing that. But I hope this was not a mistake and this was on purpose, because the game feels much snappy. It's still the same Battlefield 6. It's still quite clunky game. It still is a very clunky game. But that being said, we need a bit of snappiness, because just to make the clunkiness to be less, don't feel that heavy, right? It's not about, oh, who can slide fast or who can slide better, or whatever they can. It's not that. It's just like, can I just move my characters in a somewhat responsive way without breaking movement? That kind of thing. So that's what I hope they will keep these movement changes permanently, and they still will continue improving it to make it more snappy and not faster. There's a big difference between breaking ankles faster and feeling responsive faster, right? There's a big difference here, right? And when it comes before we're gonna go, I will talk about the map and everything. Audio is much worse. Audio is so much worse than it was Season 2. The patch notes said that they improved a lot of audio issues with the game. Like, oh, you can hear the footsteps much differently from the inside, from the outside. They're a bit more responsive. There's a curve there and everything. It's a bit more easier to understand. And okay, that's good to know. That's what the patch note said. And then when you play the game, the audio is much, much worse than it was before Season 2. It's it's just worse. The audio is really, really bad right now. I don't know what kind of patch notes they were doing, what kind of build they were playing, but the audio, I'm sorry, I will not be gaslit. The audio is definitely worse. I can't hear footsteps whatsoever. I can't hear footsteps. I cannot hear footsteps. Just absolutely horrible situation right now. And because it's so bad with the audio, someone mentioned to me like, oh, download Dolby Atmos, right, on your PC and just use those audio settings and everything to make the footsteps more clear and everything. Because, for example, I was playing RedSec with Monkey a couple of days ago, and I was in a tank, and I realized, oh, I hear no footsteps. I hear nothing. I was like, why is this guy behind me and shooting me in the back? Why I did not hear him? Then I rewatched the footage. My dude was running at me at full speed, and I did not hear him whatsoever. Then I was playing the new map, Hagental base, right? The new local metro map. Footsteps are just non-existent, And then as soon as I installed Dolby Atmos on my PC, which I never did, I like, listen, if I have to install a third-party app to have footsteps in my game, that's just fucked up on so many levels. It just should not be happening. But I was like so annoyed that they just reverted all the good stuff that we had with audio. They just needed a big improvement. They just needed more directional input, right? Because the audio was pretty okay, good in RedSec and just multiplayer. You can hear footsteps. Now you just don't. So as soon as installing the, Dolby Atmos on my computer and using it, because I'm not an audio engineer, I don't know how audio works. I'm a video guy. Yes, I can tell you how a video works and everything. I can sort that out. But when it comes to audio, I'm really green when it comes to audio engineering. So that's that. I'm not really the best person when it comes to audio. I do the basic stuff for audio, for video video editing, all that kind of stuff, I know how to mix audio, but I'm not an audio engineer, right? I don't know how audio works in a sense. Jesus Christ, that construction in there, it's so fucking loud. I'm sorry if you hear that. But it's just like, audio is non-existent. So I installed Dolby Atmos, and it's better. Definitely better. I changed some settings in the game. I installed Dolby Atmos. I don't know if it's just equalizer, just basically makes the game much louder in certain, like, well, that's what it does basically. But using Dolby Atmos on my PC, I can somewhat hear the footsteps now, so it kind of makes it easier and more tolerable. But just because I had to install Dolby Atmos on my fucking computer, which I usually don't do, if I have to install a third-party app just to play the fucking game, that's a big fucking problem. But because we had such okay, like, well, not perfect, but we had a good audio settings, whatever you want to call it, in the game before this update, and now suddenly we don't have footsteps anymore. I'm like, that's fucked up. So that's why I was like, you know what? I have to install this now. Like the dude recommends me that he stands by it, and I'm like, oh, it does make the audio much better. At least I can hear footsteps now. But just because I had to install that's fucked up on so many levels. But so yeah, audio is definitely not better. I will not be gaslit thinking like, oh, the audio is great. So that's not no. That's no, just no. But also, just before we go into the other impressions, there's a thing happened on Battlefield socials. So we know Battlefield Portal, right? Battlefield Portal. We're like, okay, cool. And we know what kind of bitch is to get approved by DICE for your Portal experience. So every Portal experience is running at 30 hertz servers, right? Which is shit, garbage. It's not good. It's not good. It's just not. But if you get approved, which, like, let's say the Operation Metro was approved on someone remade Metro on Portal and got approved, got 60 hertz servers and full progression, all that kind of stuff. Great, that got approved. Like, all right, fine. So people been making a lot of good experiences in Battlefield Portal, and they just don't get approved, and they probably won't be because they don't have the resources to approve all that kind of stuff. Which is okay, fair. I mean, probably too many experiences, too much testing, too much time. That needs to be, you need a lot of time to review everything. I get that. But Battlefield Socials post like, oh, check out Battlefield Portal with the Burnt Peanut, Shroud, and some other two dudes as they play this Battlefield Portal thing. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You just fired developers from your studio. You can't approve Battlefield community's experiences because you don't have the resources to review everything. But hey, if it's a streamer, a big streamer, hey, we can approve that. We can make it 60 hertz. We can pay these streamers to play the game that they haven't played since launch day. Hey, how many millions is that? Let's waste some millions to promote this with these streamers. And what do we get? I can assure right now that all those thousands of people watching, these streamers, they're not buying the fucking game. They're not buying the game. So 1, they're not buying the game. 2, they're not playing RedSec. And 3, they don't care. They're just there to watch their favorite streamer, have a bit of fun. That's it. None of them decide, you know what? I will buy Battlefield 6 because my favorite streamer just played this mode that they got paid for to play. Optics are not there, my dudes. And as soon as that happened, as soon as there's like, oh yeah, we have this Battlefield Portal and Shroud and Burnt Peanut are playing, and that's great, cool. Suddenly all the developers that usually don't post shit about their game, they just keep it to themselves, suddenly they're like, oh, I work hard for this. This is amazing. It was really, what's the word? I'm really grateful that I was working on this and we managed to have post this and people having fun. I'm like, no, the streamers are having fun. It's all like, wait, why are you coming out when the stream, like, it's just like, you see, the optics are not there. Why can you do this for the Battlefield community members that spend time in Portal making these experiences and they're just waiting for your approval, but you just being radio silent? But as soon as a streamer you pay a streamer to play your game, like, oh, I work hard for this. Stop. The optics are not there. Listen, I love you guys. I love you for many different reasons. But please stop being like that. The optics are not there. It just makes you look worse. And the streamer, who benefited from all of this in the first place? Streamers. Those particular streamers that got paid to play the game that they will never touch until they get paid again. And how many people you converted to buy Battlefield 6 because of these streamers? I can assure you, listen, I'm not inside the marketing department. I don't see the analytics and everything, but I do have the experience working in marketing at Sony PlayStation, and I've seen the numbers, and I can assure that they did not get a big bump of sales because they paid certain streamers to play their game. I can assure you the big bump, even if there was a bump, it's such a small bump that it's not worth the money. Yeah, you maybe go a little bump, small bump. But was it worth the effort? All that money wasted on this little small bump? Nah. I can assure you, nah. I can assure you, no. Just no. Just no. But yeah, that's that's another topic for another day, but I'm just like, when I saw that, I'm like, really, guys? Really? That's what you're gonna do? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, I guess. Douchebags. Thank you, I guess. Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, so before we're gonna talk about the map and all that kind of stuff, quick mention from our sponsors. Okay, guys, give me just a minute. Please, just a minute. Our Patreon supporters are amazing. Without your support, this show would not exist. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Without your support, this show would not exist. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to our Patreon. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, for enjoying the content we've been posting on Patreon and posting on Battlefield 1 podcast, main channels, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for your support, because, like I said, without your support, this show would not exist. And why you dear listeners, should be subscribed to Patreon is because you're getting early access, ad-free episodes early, or like I said, early access, and it's just for $2. Just for $2, you get early access to the episodes, like 2-3 days early, ad-free, and you're supporting us. You help us, you help us to improve the show. You help us to keep the show going, because believe it or not, I'm not a full-time content creator, and every little helps. Thank you so much. It helps us to buy equipment, helps us to, do whatever, like for the podcast, whatever expenses we might have for the podcast, supporting the website, like supporting the hosting, all that kind of stuff, whatever the case may be. It helps us a lot. So thank you guys so much for everything that you guys been doing to us. It just helps us a lot. I mean, like how many times I said helps us a lot. And of course, just because you give us money, it doesn't mean you're just like gonna be like, oh yeah, just throw money and that's it because you like, I like you guys. No, you get content back. You're not only getting early access and future episodes of Battlefield Podcast, you get Patreon exclusive episodes, Patreon exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and all the other stuff that we can do on Patreon. And because I believe that you should not be throwing money at us because you like us, I believe you should be getting something back. And we want to make sure that you get your money's worth, right? So that's the idea. Like, get exclusive episodes, bonus episodes. We have 60 plus episodes of, live gaming gathering episodes where me and my friends just gather around, talk about video games, movies, whatever the case may be. And there's a new show called LankySoldier, which is basically me talking to a mic and just talking about my feelings, so what was happening in my life, and the real Lanky, right? The real Tom, right? So it's all Patreon exclusive episodes and all the other stuff like we have on Patreon that we've been doing for the last 2-3 years. So enjoy enjoy that exclusive Patreon content just because you subscribe. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your, interactions with us and everything. Thank you guys for supporting us. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. It means everything to us. And like I said, the Spotify nuked our audience. Join Patreon as a free member. At least you will get notified when there's a new episode. At least join as a free member. That also helps because I know you're listening. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk about Battlefield. Let's continue talking about Battlefield. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Thank you guys for everything. We'll see you there. Okay, so my plan for this episode was to be short and sweet about the impressions of Season 2 Nightfall, but suddenly I can notice that I'm talking for 48 minutes, and my notes are not that meaty, by the way. My notes are really short, and somehow this is becoming one of the longest episodes so far, and I don't understand how. So, anyway, let's talk about the Nightfall Impressions, the map. I was talking, right now I was talking about the general stuff, but let's talk about the content itself. So, Hagental base, how's the map? You know what? I like it. So, a Battlefield game is not complete without the meat grinder map like Metro, Locar, Argonne Forest. Was Battlefield 5 had? It had Metro technically, Operation Underground technically. And Battlefield 2042 had Redacted, and Battlefield 6 has Hagental Base. I think a Battlefield game is not complete without a map like that. And after playing Hagental Base for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 matches, because it's multiplayer, it's like I personally don't enjoy multiplayer that much. I rather play RedSec with a friend, but I did play it, just to experience the new content, experience whatever, level up some weapons. I like it. You know what? I have to like the Battlefield 6 now feels a bit more complete. It feels a bit more complete. Doesn't matter what you think about the maps, that we have in Battlefield 6 right now. Not the point. Just because we have this map right now, this meat grinder map in the game feels a bit more complete, feels a bit more well, fuller, bigger, I guess. And because if you don't enjoy the rest of the maps, at least you can play Hagental base. And the way Hagental base works is you can't. It's a very interesting map. So it's a mid grinder map for sure. But it's just like it's so funny how many flanking routes he has. He has flanking routes for days. Like there's so many, so many corridors and tunnels and everything you can cover before someone's gonna flank you anyway. There's so I think it's much better than Loka. Whatever you think about Metro is a very specific niche type of map, but Loka was a bit better in my opinion. I'd rather play Loka than Metro. And of course I will rather play Argon Forest from Battlefield 1 than Loka. But Hagental base, listen, even Redacted in the 2042 was not that bad. Redacted was actually pretty good in 2042. It's like one of the better maps, honestly. And then you have Hagental base that are in Battlefield 6. Yeah, I think Hagental base is actually pretty good. Like it has particular open areas that I which is quite unheard of for a mid grinder map, but the middle of the map is very open. You have to know, you need to know the spots, the cheesy spots where the best place to be when players are pushing on the middle flag. It's a very open location, and I'm not the biggest fan. But when it comes to other locations, other objectives, they're fine. I can't remember whose side is it, NATO or PAX? But one of the first flags on the map is the north one, on the right side of the screen. It's like a server room or something like that. That's the most horrible place to fight for objective, because the server room is in the middle, right? You have servers, and that's the objective basically. And it's basically just servers stacked up in in a cubicle type of way, but there's gaps, right, between in that cubicle. And it's the most difficult place to fight, especially when there's no audio. You actually have to guess where the players will come from. Is it gonna come from the right, left, right, and whatever? So that's the problem with Hagental base is kinda, because you can get shot from almost every possible direction. You can't really predict if you're gonna get shot from the right, or you're gonna get shot from the left, right, or back, or whatever the case may be, right, or from the top sometimes. I'm not even kidding, top or down sometimes, depending where you are on the map. So there's a bit of verticality there too. You can get shot from a lot of different directions, and that server room is the perfect metaphor for this map. It's it's kind of hard to capture the objective. When you capture, it's great, but defending it or attacking it, it's you never know where the player will be in that that square area with so many gaps and everything, and just so many corners to cover. You can't cover all the corners. So that's my biggest problem. It lacks a bit of focus. Hagental base lacks a bit of focus when it comes to that, just map design, right? Sometimes it feels like, oh yeah, let's have some corridors, some lanes, and let's just put some random shit around and call it a day. That's how it feels like sometimes. I don't know if that's how they were thinking. I don't know. Listen, I'm not a level design. It didn't work on this map, but that's my problem with this map. It's a good map. I think the layout works. I think the lanes work. I think the tunnels work. I think the whole flow of the map is really, really good. But certain locations, I do think they lack a bit of focus when it comes to directing players to a specific spot, a specific area, right? So that's my problem. It lacks a bit of focus. The objectives, they lack a bit of focus, and you can get shot from every direction, and it feels like just random objects were placed on an objective and called it a day. That's how it feels like sometimes, which I'm not a fan of. But overall, I think the map is fun and good and so on, and I think people are gonna enjoy it so much. They're gonna learn all the cheesy spots, they're gonna learn all the lanes, they're gonna learn how to play this map properly. It's gonna be a much different experience. But at the moment, I think it's a good map. I think it's a good map. So far, my first 6 matches playing this map, Hagental base, I think is really good. I'm really curious how it's gonna be on operations in a month later. I wonder how it's gonna be on operations. Is it gonna be, it's gonna be a bit clusterfucky. That's for sure. So let's see how that's gonna go. So of course, new stage of the season, we have a new limited time mode, and it's called Nightfall. and it's on Squad Deathmatch, TDM, and Domination. Right? I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think that's all the modes they released on. It is basically a night vision mode. So when you spawn, you have limited visibility. When you go into the dark corner, it's actually really dark. It's actually really properly lit where it's supposed to be. Like, it's a realistic night vision type of mode. I played it. It's fine. I'm not having fun, but hey, it's fine. It's just whatever. It's like it's not. I think Modern Warfare 2019, speaking of that, game is having a revival these days because it was on sale, probably the cheapest Call of Duty to date on Steam, and it's like having like 50,000 players right now. I'm like, whoa, whoa, oh wow. So anyway, so it didn't. I think Modern Warfare 2019 did night vision mode better than Battlefield 6. And my biggest, okay, it's not really the biggest problem. The Nightfall is one of those modes. It's just like when you put the night vision goggles, they work as they're supposed to. Like, oh yeah, you look into the light, it's like blinds you. If you look in the dark, it's pretty clear and all that kind of stuff. But my problem is just when you put the night vision goggles, it looks like shit. The game looks like crap. Now, there was some guy on Reddit, and I know Abe on Discord telling me, like, these night vision goggles, whatever mechanics in Battlefield 6 are pretty spot on and pretty realistic how they work in real life. Great, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But I have a problem with that when I play a video game and my video game looks like fucking pixelated bukkake. That's what I have a problem with. I don't give a damn how realistic it is. I don't care how, authentic that is and everything. I just know that when I put the night vision goggles, the map looks like shit, a textureless garbage pixel nonsense, right? The textures look wrong. You can tell it's a video game, right? You can tell it's just like, oh, it's like they put a filter on your face and that's it. Which probably is. That's how it works, I guess. But it's just like they put a filter on and the map looks absolutely horrid in night vision goggles. When in Modern Warfare 2019, hey, I can tell it's still a real life location in quotations. It's a real location. I can tell it's a, nothing. Yeah, it's night vision and it works like night vision, but it just looks nicer to look at. It looks like a video game, Listen, I don't give a damn how realistic it's supposed to be. If my game looks like really crap when I put night vision goggles, I don't care how realistic it is. I play a video game. If I really want a milsim type of experience, I want realism, I'll play other games like The Squad or Insurgency and everything where they try to be realistic as possible regarding those kind of stuff. When it comes to Battlefield 6 or any arcade wannabe shooter where we do response and all that kind of stuff, listen, I don't give a damn how night vision is realistic. I just want to look at that. I want to put night vision goggles and they look nice to look at. It works like night vision, but I want the game to look nice, visually. I have a good graphics card. I kind of want my game to look nice, and that's why I don't really enjoy it that much because it's just like it's kind of pointless, like whatever. So that's that. It's just like, it's just like I play a video game. I don't want to make it realistic because at least Modern Warfare 2019 made it nice to look at when you're night vision, and that's cool. That's cool. That's the thing. It's cool. It's we're not playing for realism. We're playing for just to have a bit of fun and cool and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. So yeah, the map is good. The limited time mode, game mode, Nightfall, just. I think it's a waste of time. I'd rather have it on Conquest. Listen, that's the thing. I'd rather have this on Conquest than on Domination and Squad Deathmatch or TDM or whatever, right? And those small modes. I don't play those small modes, right? I don't really care. Well, I do play Domination to level up some rooms, but I play on specific maps because I know the layouts and I know the routine, and it's a bit more fun for me. I'm not gonna play this mode to level up weapons. Because I'm already playing the game mode itself that requires me to put night vision goggles, all that kind of stuff, which is another layer of gameplay loop on top. I don't want that. Just give me contaminate domination, I'm good. That's it. That's fine. Like I said, they added this in this patch, and I'm good. That's fine. I don't need anything night vision, all kind of stuff. If you're adding that kind of stuff, add it to bigger modes like Breakthrough or Conquest on other maps. I think that would be pretty cool. I think. Now, when it comes to, they said they changed some netcode stuff. They updated the netcode. I don't know if I haven't played multiplayer game. I haven't played Battlefield 6 multiplayer for a while. I just think it's not really improvement. Well, okay, when you shoot someone, it feels a bit snappy. It does feel snappy. It does feel like, oh, I hit my bullets to this player. He actually dies, and the feedback is almost instant. That's great. I think that's what they improved. I think it's like it does feel a bit more responsive. Great. But I don't know if I haven't played Battlefield 6 for a while and just forgot how fast the TTK is. But boy, I've been dying like a bitch. Really fast, very instant, just get obliterated really fast. Like when I have positioning and everything, it's like, okay, sure, I go 3 and 5. Sure, that's no problem. But when I die, I'm like, how did I die? My dude just melted me, just like, I don't know if it's like that. It's just the TTK of the guns is so fast that I just forgot about, or because the netcode got improved, that's why it feels much like faster, because the netcode is better responsive, all that kind of stuff. So that's why you die so much faster. I still die behind cover once in a while. It still happens. It still happens. But boy, I'm just like, wow, what Battlefield 6 multiplayer when it comes to like actual skill gaps and all that kind of stuff, almost the skill gap is almost non-existent. Everyone are just almost on the same plateau in a sense. Like, yeah, the good players will perform good. That's nothing's gonna change, right? But when it comes to like actual skill gaps, just making the game fun and so on, a shit player can kill a good player just like that. You know, just that easily, because the TTK is so fucking fast. You can be the worst player, like in the worst player on the universe, you can get kills just fine. And I know you have to kind of like, as a developer, you kind of have to find the balance, you know, that everyone has like somewhat on an equal footing. I get that, you kind of need to find the balance. But Jesus Christ, I was frustrated a couple of times because I was just dying so fucking fast, and I was like, what do you want me to do here? It's like, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything here. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? I just died instantly in like 2 seconds, like not even 2 seconds, like half a second, like what? It's like, I had no time to react. Like, if I react, it was already too late. When I reacted, it was already too late. You know, I'm dead. So, I don't know if it's the netcode got updated like so well that that's why it feels snappier, or is it the TTK or something like that? I don't know. Maybe because I've been playing RedSec for I've been playing RedSec for the last month, basically, literally for the last month, and going back to multiplayer, I'm like, oh my god, this is jarring. What the fuck? And I did see a Reddit post by someone saying, wow, I was playing the free trial of Battlefield 6, and this is so different from RedSec. I die so fast, and I'm like, yeah, my dude, same. Like I've been playing RedSec for a while now, and just going back to multiplayer when I feel like it, just to level up some weapons, whatever the case may be, right? And then you play Hagental base, you just get melted instantly. Like, oh my god, what is this? It's a bit too fast. The TTK, it's a little bit too fast, and I'm like, oof. Yeah, I kind of need to camp a little bit more just to play good, because god damn, that was fast. So yeah, I kind of, they need to up the TTK a little bit, because it's too fast in my opinion. But yeah. Anyway, as we let me talk for another 10-15 minutes. RedSec, quickly. I need to mention a couple of things. Okay, so like I've been saying, I've been playing RedSec for the last month, and know what's wrong and everything. We have a routine. Actually, if you subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier, if you want to get better at RedSec, go watch the video I posted on Patreon, where I explain how we win our games and how we think and our strategies, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, when it comes to RedSec, RedSec got loads of good quality updates that made me really, really happy. Like there's like the map looks cleaner. The pinging system it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. But now you can actually tell where the pings are. You can see the pings. You can see the different shapes of pings. Like, I can tell now who's who. They did not add the different colors to pings. I think this could be the engine limitation or the way the game was designed, because RedSec and Battlefield 6 are connected. So I imagine if you change something in Battlefield 6, it will change in RedSec, and if you change something in RedSec, it will change in Battlefield 6 and vice versa, because they're connected. So two studios basically have to work together to make updates that they don't fuck up each other, which is not ideal and fucking sucks. Call of Duty learned that lesson many years ago. But anyway, as I continue, there's some good quality updates that got added with this game. The pinging system is much better. The map is clearer to look at. The new location, which is the underground base, is really good. It's not just a small POI update on the map. It's like, oh yeah, this location looks different now. No. It's actually a whole different. It's a whole Hagental base. Haha. It's a whole Hagental base there on the map. You actually have to land specific, entry points. You go into those tunnels, and in those tunnels are big. Like the tunnels in the new location on RedSec, those tunnels are huge, and they have really good loot. They have all the stuff that you need for endgame, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, me and Monkey just landing there. I'm like, oh my god, this is not just a new location. This is just a whole new map. Basically, just like the tunnels are they're all connected and everything to make sense, because you kind of need to meet players that go there at the same time. So they're all connected. So you're not gonna get lost technically. But I'm like, oh wow, this is not just a POI update. This is a whole new map and location, and there's so much loot and everything. Like, oh okay. So that's the positive. So the good quality of life stuff got updated. That's great. Pinging is great. The new location, the underground base, fantastic. My problem is, though, with this cool stuff that get added in RedSec, great. Oh, they also updated the list of weapons you can pick up, and you can pick up the new SMG, for example, from the ground floor, which is good, fantastic. I love that. But yeah, when it comes to like good stuff that they update to RedSec, really good stuff. Oh, even the victory screen. I forgot. Even the victory screen. When you win the game, back before this update, it was like, oh, you want to black screen, and it gives you a victories letters, whatever, just like yellow logo that says, hey, victory, you won the game, and so on. And then it transitions to cinematic of you going on a helicopter, which look like shit. We all agree look like shit. Now, when you win the game, you don't go to the black screen. You can still control your character, but in front of your screen you get like the same yellow logo, like, hey, you won the game and everything, and then you transition to the cinematic. So much better. They added so many improvements, like it just makes that RedSec experience so much better and smoother. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is actually great. So that's that. So all this good stuff they added to RedSec, fantastic. But the problem is, there's more bugs. Actually, more bugs. Using the vehicles is problematic because, for example, when I enter the vehicle, for some reason my character teleports around the map for some reason, and then gets inside the vehicle. Like, then when you exit the vehicle, you do the same thing. Your fucking character just goes around the whole map, teleports like in a second around everywhere until you get out of the vehicle. It's like, okay, very confusing and very disorientating. But hey, that's when you exit the vehicle. Let's say I was next to I think it was like trash cans or some shit, like trash containers, right? Garbage containers. I was next to garbage containers. We were doing a mission. We're waiting for the drone to deliver the stupid shit, the stupid data drive, the hard drive. I'd exit the vehicle, in front of the garbage cans. I went under the map just because the game pushed me out of the vehicle, straight into the garbage thingies and the garbage containers. And I was inside the garbage containers and I was basically under the map. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want this, because just because you're under the map, you're not going to win the game and everything. It's because the way the maps are designed, it's like stupid, like, well, not stupid, but like I was basically under the map behind the wall. It's like, oh, no. I went back to the vehicle quickly, pressed E to enter the vehicle. I quickly back teleported into the vehicle and I was on the map properly again. So that's really buggy. That's not good. There's some other bugs that just happened to me, like disappearing weapons. So when I find, like, let's say we found the RPG, right? Like I have RPG. I'm an engineer. I found an RPG in a crate or something like that, or Monkey or someone found a weapon. I mark that weapon, and I just walk away. I don't look at the weapon, and Monkey will come in and pick up the weapon. And next thing he tells me was the RPG. Did you took it? I'm like, no, I marked it. It's in there. Like, it's not there. Where is it? And I'm so confused. What the fuck? What? It despawned? Just what? 2 seconds later? When I left the that location where I found the RPG? So both of us are confused. Alright. Then we played a bit more and realized, it's not 100% chance it will happen, but there's a 50-50 chance it will happen. So if you open the chest and you look at the weapon, we learned that if you look away from the crate for a second, you don't even walk away from the crate, you just look away from the crate. You don't look at the weapon. The weapon's not on your screen anymore, and you look back where that weapon spawned, in the crate. There's a 50-50 chance that everything in that crate will disappear. What the fuck? So, now, every time we play, we have to make sure that we look at this crate non-fucking stop until any of us will grab, that your team, in this case, if I find RPG, I have to make sure that I don't lose sight of this RPG in front of me, so Monkey can come in and pick it up. When he picks it up, then I can move and look away from that, because he already has it. But if I look away, like if I open the chest, mark it and walk away and hope Monkey will come in and pick up the RPG, there's a 50-50 chance that RPG will not be there anymore. And we tested it. It's just a 1 second difference. Oh, sorry, I just been talking for a while. It's a 1 second difference. What the fuck? What kind of bug is that? It's like, okay, I mark it and it just fucking disappears in front of me like a second later just because I look away? That's a really weird bug. It's annoying. So now we have to waste time of someone standing in front of the equipment and wait until the other player comes in and picks it up. Otherwise, it will disappear. 50-50 chance it will disappear. Holy shit. Now, in the update, in the patch notes, they said, actually before that, I will say, the audio, for example. I did mention the audio. Audio is so fucking bad in RedSec right now. It's back to being really bad. I think the audio gone better with the Winter Offensive update. Then you can, at that point, you can hear footsteps much better and like, oh, okay, this is good. The audio is much better in RedSec right now. That's why I was like, I'm really worried about the movement changes. I don't know if it was by mistake they reverted those changes, because I'm pretty sure the audio got reverted back to the Winter Offensive stuff. Something like that, like before the Winter Offensive. Because it's really bad. Like, I'm in a tank, standing still, not even driving, standing still. There's a dude sprinting at me from behind and sabotaged our tank. I'm like, what the fuck? I did not hear him. And when I'm passing a building and everything, and someone's sprinting inside the building, like I used to hear that, like, oh yeah, there's a player there, and so on. Like, unless they're crouching. If they're crouching, I will not hear them. That's fine. I think that's fair. If they're crouching and being like sneaky and stealthy, okay, you know what? That's fine. That makes sense. But when they're sprinting at full speed, and I do not hear that 5 meters away from me in a tank, also forget the tank. I can't even hear the footsteps as an infantry player. I'm running around the building. I don't fucking hear them. That's why I installed the Dolby Atmos thing, because I had to do this because the audio is just non-existent. So sorry again. I installed the Dolby Atmos thing. The audio is definitely better with that software. Like I said, I'm not an audio engineer. Audio is definitely much better with that thing. I can hear the footsteps. Great. But why do I need a third-party software to hear footsteps in a fucking video game? Are you fucking insane? So the audio is really, 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 really bad right now in RedSec, and it's pissing me off so much because we just die because we don't hear footsteps. People can sprint around and we die because like some guy was just sprinting us from the back and just like we didn't hear him. Do I have to be eagle hawked all the time, 360 view? Sure, I can do that, which I do anyway, but sometimes you can't cover every corner. You can't track everything, which is normally inhuman. So you hear footsteps and everything, just like, you react to that. I can't hear fucking shit, man. The fucking drilling again or whatever. I can't hear shit. So that's stupid. Also, in like continuing with the rest of the problems, in the patch notes, they said, okay, we hear the feedback about the vehicles being too much or whatever the case may be, fine. So there's a mission called Weapon Cache, right? So you go somewhere, you start the mission, you go somewhere, pick up, not scissors, clippers, right, or whatever, to open the safe, right? So you go somewhere, you pick up those things, and you go to the safe, and you open the safe. Inside that safe, you get anti-tank weaponry, you get airstrike, you get intel cache, and you get some starting weapons. So it was a really good mission to start early, because if you're not engineer, that mission was fantastic for you to start and get some AT, because you never know when the tank is going to come around the corner, early game or late game, doesn't matter, as long as you're prepared. And it gives you some starting weapons that, with a scope, green weapons. And from there you can upgrade your weapons and all that kind of stuff. So that's great. It was a legitimate tactic for us to land a specific location and start doing that mission so we can be prepared, because I was playing Assault all the time and Monkey was playing Support. Great. So what they did right now with this update, they opened the weapon caches. They open those caches as soon as the missions end. So when the missions end in the end game, like before the end game, actually it is in the end game, in the last closing circle, whatever, the weapon caches open, so every player can go to those and pick up the stuff inside, to make it easier for yourself if you're in this disadvantage. Sounds good on paper. Problem is, when you open the weapon cache in the end game, they change the rewards, what's inside. They give you some golden weapons. They give you nothing regarding AT, so you have nothing against anti-tank. Gives you something else that is just so unimportant. It gives you like some equipment, but it doesn't give you AT. It gives you like some equipment, or maybe it gives you a revive or something like that. So they completely changed the rewards inside that safe. That has nothing to do with anti-tank, which is the anti-tank is the most important thing from this. So the rewards are not worth the effort. That's assuming that safe is even in the circle. So when the missions end, it's already too late. It's already too late. No one's gonna do missions in that stage anyway. So the reward, it's just not a point. And that's assuming that that safe is gonna be in the circle, right? assuming it's going to be in the circle, with big chance it won't. So it's a pointless change in a sense. But that being said, so they open them as the mission end. Problem is, they remove that as a mission entirely. They remove that as a mission entirely. So that means, if we want to land to our regular spot and get anti-tank weaponry, because we never know who's gonna get a tank early, we can't do that. That mission doesn't exist anymore. We can't open those saves until the game opens those saves. Now, in the patch notes, they said the unopened chests or caches, whatever. So I presume this is a bug. I presume it's a bug. But right now, at the moment, as I'm recording this on the 21st of March, weapons cache mission doesn't exist in the game right now. It doesn't. So that means me being assault or me being support, and we are good players. We win games. But other players, more casual players, none of us can get any anti-tank weaponry early in the game. But guess what can you get early in the game? We figured out. You can get a fucking tank with the second missions that are gonna pop up. So our tactic is land that's our spot, ignore the first batch of missions, which is a minute. So we land, pick up weapons, replay it. Missions appear 30 seconds, 20 seconds later. Our strategy now is ignore those missions because the rewards in those missions are pointless. So do the antennas to get UAV, okay? Deliver this drive to get airstrike, okay? Also, the missions are really stupid. They're not fun. The only good mission is when you have to pick up the what was it called? A beacon, and you have to slowly walk to complete it, and you get a reward. Probably the best mission. But other ones are just boring to do. I'm not gonna do a fucking data drive that takes me almost 2 minutes to complete. Not because I'm shit. It's because the game forces me to wait 40 fucking seconds for the drone to arrive. So you ignore the first batch of missions for a minute. On the second batch, if you're on this particular location, you can start a beacon mission and you can get a tank. So we're talking a minute and 30 seconds into the game, you can start doing a mission that gives you a fucking tank. And by removing the weapon caches missions from the game, so if you're not engineer, you're, let's say, any different class, you don't have AT. So that means I can get a fucking tank 2 minutes into the game and start rolling on people, and they have no chance of fighting us back. Which happened. For example, it happened to us. We got unlucky in certain cases. We did not get a tank mission, and our missions just did not click whatsoever, just because it's all random. 3 minutes in, a tank is rolling at us and starts shooting us, and we can't do anything about it 3 minutes into the game. We don't have our weapons. We don't have any AT. We're assault and support. We just had to run. We had to run. Monkey died, unfortunately. Or I died, I can't remember. Or maybe both of us survived. I don't remember. There was a couple of moments like that. There was a recording of me, which I'm going to use for a YouTube video one day. Just me bitching like, oh, look, a tank. What do you want me to do? Absolutely nothing, because the game developers don't play their own fucking game. So assuming this is just a bug, it's okay, fix the bug, please. But I have a feeling this is not a bug. This is a feature. This is a feature to encourage to us play, engineer, whatever the case may be. That doesn't matter. It's like, do developers play in their own fucking game sometimes? I said this like 2-3 episodes ago. One of the interviews was like, oh, the progression ethos. I'm like, girl, do you even play your own game? So, this is the same thing. I don't know what Ripple Effect are doing, or DICE, or whoever is working on this. You basically remove all the chances of us getting AT We can't fight a fucking tank early because we're support and assault. We can't fight that tank. You can get a tank 3 minutes in, but you can't get AT. You removed it, and then when the weapon cache is finally open, you can't even get cache, like you can't even get AT in those caches. What the fuck? Do you even play your own game? So that fucking ruined everything for us. Now we're like, okay, this is fucking garbage. Who even came up with this shit? I was really mad. I was like, when I realized like I can't do anything against that fucking tank. 3 minutes into the fucking game, I'm like, who made this decision? Are you insane? So what we did, we changed to engineer class, both of us, because we got mad. So sure, finally, okay, we are engineers, we have, you know, rockets and everything, we can fight against a tank, great. Then of course which is fine, you know there's like orange chests in the game, which are always static in the same place, they're always in the same spot, but the rewards can be random. But there's a 50-50 chance that it's gonna give us like, it gives you class specific weaponry. So if you're engineer, that means it gives you AT. If you're support, it gives you like, you know, a grenade launcher that does specific thing. And if you support, it gives you something else like a defibs or whatever. Like, right, those orange chests. So we're opening chests, right? And because we're engineer, oh my god, look at that. All the RPGs we need to fight a tank. But then suddenly, both of us engineers, not only we have our own personal that guided missile, forgot the name of it, and then we have RPGs on top. I'm like, so you either have everything in terms of AT, or you don't have anything. It's either everything or nothing. Everything or nothing. There's nothing in between. So either have unbelievably a lot of missiles at your disposal, you have 8 missiles at your disposal, or you have nothing. How's that balanced or fair, whatever the case may be? How that makes any fucking sense? So that's that. So we kind of realized, okay, it's kind of stupid that both of us run engineer. Let's run one engineer and realize that one engineer opens all the chests, all the orange chests. Because let's say I start playing engineer. Monkey could not play engineer because whoever he's playing good as support. I think support is a stupid class in RedSec, but hey, if he plays good, who am I to judge? That's not the point. He does whatever he wants, whatever, I don't care. So he played as support, I play as engineer, and we agreed that all the orange chests I'll be opening the chests, because there's a 50-50 chance that we'll get RPGs or anti-tank weaponry in those chests. So that means Monkey can pick it up while I still have my rockets, you know, my engineer class rockets and everything. So that's our strategy now. When it comes to like missions and everything, we just wait for the tank, and then we roll with the tank, and then after that maybe do custom missions and everything and so on. And that we kind of fix the meta for ourselves, so that's great and so on. But I'm just like thinking, why do you even change that kind of stuff? Like, why you have to like remove that choice? Because for us, because we're good players, we can handle that. We'll adapt and so on. You know, like how people are like, we'll adapt to the game. Yeah, we're adapted it. It's fine. Like, all right, they did this stupid change in the game. Cool, because we know the game. So that because we know the game, we can adapt and know all the strategies and tactics, and to give us more chances to win the game. That's us, because we play somewhat religiously. But any casual player from Battlefield 6 or just any free-to-play player just joining the game or just playing for a while, how do they know? Like, their first experience, like, they're gonna land somewhere with a rando, they pick up their weapons, they're just trying to, like, you know, they play thinking, oh, let's start the mission, so we're about to do the mission. 2-3 minutes in, they get blasted by a tank, and they had no counter. They had no counter, they can't do anything. And they get mad and everything, and then bitch on social media that tanks are OP. That's why we get complaints like, oh, the tanks are very OP in RedSec, they should not be in RedSec, they should not be in Battle Royale. No, the tanks are fine, because they're glass cannons. You can kill... Tanks are so useless. If you don't know how to use a tank, they're just absolutely useless. But they're still a very powerful tool for you to give advantage in the end game, right? You're not a god in a tank in the end game. If you're playing against a organized duo or squad that don't know what they're doing, that tank is not surviving endgame under no circumstances. That's just not happening. That being said, well, that's Battlefield in general. Like, the big scale of good players and the bad players. Like, there's a big gap between that. But like, when a casual player, just like a normal player, just like doesn't play this game religiously, lands somewhere and he can't get anti-tank weaponry somewhat on a whim, and then 3 minutes later their fucking tank comes in and kills them. Like, yeah, they're gonna bitch and then they're gonna play it again, and then they're not gonna play this ever again because to them it's really unfair, which it is. It really is. So I don't know. They have to. I hope it's a bug. I hope it's a bug that weapon cache missions somehow got disabled in the process by accident. Because if it's not an accident and it was on purpose, my God, please, I don't want to say this person should be fucking fired, but like, do you even play your own game if this was on purpose? That's the problem. If they did this on purpose, I'm like, what are you smoking? Like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. And the reason you play engineer is not because for anti-tank, because you get the perks for the class for your rockets that do a specific thing. You play for the perks. You play the class for the perks, not for the equipment, right? That's the thing. You have classes for the abilities and the perks, not the weapons. You can use any weapon you want. You can use any equipment you want. It's fine. Engineer can use the pads. That's fine. That's so how it's supposed to be. But you play a specific class for the perks. And now, you think you buffed engineer. In a sense, you did. But you just made the engineer class and the most OP class right now. Just like completely ruins the whole flow of the game. Because assault is useless, support is useless. Is like, what do you achieve with that? Absolutely nothing. You just ruined it for no fucking reason. Like, now we have good players dominating everything, and bad players are just basically dying like flies, and they have no chance of competing against this. They have no fucking chance because they have no idea. They haven't adapted, So that's that. So yeah, RedSec is in a sense is ruined right now with these changes. They just need to add the weapons cache mission back because otherwise this is so fucking broken. It's not fun. So that's that. Okay, I've been talking for an hour and 30 minutes. So, you know what? I'm going to end the podcast here. Long story short, Season 2 Nightfall is good. It's good. I think the update is really good. Added loads of quality of life stuff. Really annoyed about the Red Bull tag, but that's on Red Bull, not EA. So, they added some good quality of life stuff. Weapon progression is definitely faster. Movement feels better, which is great. It's not fast, but it's snappy and it's responsive, so it's still not perfect, but hey, baby steps, right? We're getting there. The audio is worse, unfortunately. The audio is actually worse. The map is really good. Love the map. The limited time mode, Nightfall, it's a miss in my eyes. I think it's a miss. Netcode changes depends. Shooting someone does feel snappy and good and all that kind of stuff, but when you get shot, bruh, you get shot like a bitch and you die like a bitch, and they're like, I don't think that's it, fam. But that's my opinion. And RedSec, loads of good quality updates. The location is very nice. But what it ruins for me is the bugs. It's the actual bugs. Like loads of bugs. Like the game is just like weapon disappearing, or you under the map somehow, or entering the vehicle. You just teleport around the place until you enter the vehicle. It's just so stupid. The audio is so much worse, and the missions, like we're removing the weapons cache mission, just basically flip the whole game upside down, and it's just so not good and balanced. So I hope it's a bug and not a deliberate decision, because if it's a deliberate decision, I'm like, bruh, stop working on this game because you don't know what you're doing. Just revert everything as it was and just fix the bugs. That's all you have to do. Don't do any more changes, because what the fuck. That's assuming it's a deliberate decision. But yeah, I think the update is good, but I'm just annoyed about certain stuff that it's like one step forward, 2 steps back, but it's not really. It's like one step forward and maybe like a half a step back in a sense. So that's why it doesn't feel that jarring, because the update is actually good. but it's just the small stuff around. It's annoying. You know, it's not a piece of shit update. It's a good update. It's just like, I don't know, like you got let's say you got a new computer, right? Everything's great and so on, but you have like, I don't know, 8 gigs of RAM or 4 gigs of RAM or some shit. Like it's not that noticeable, but it's noticeable. It's just like pissing you off, even though you have good PC to play with. But just that 4 gigs of RAM just fuck you up in certain pages. Like what the fuck is this? Like you can do everything you want, but it's just like, the fuck, like that kind of stuff, right? Like it's like one step forward and a half a step back, like, which is quite annoying. That's how I feel about this update. For the next episode, if you're still listening, for the next episode, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I kind of do want to bring some guests, but I need to start inviting people. But I'll be honest, everyone. I'll be honest. The Spotify thing that happened with the change they did and everything, it just basically knew our audience. I'm like, my motivation just to make content, I'm like, it just went fucking down. I'm like, ugh. Like, you do everything right. You do everything you can to make sure you produce a good show, and everything you're doing right is everything you're doing to stay on, you know, in a good spot and everything. But something outside your control just comes in and just ruins everything for you. I'm like, ugh. So my motivation to do anything was really low. Like, really low. Also, I need to make an episode on Patreon just talking about that kind of stuff, because there's certain stuff happening in the background. I'm just like so demotivated and so depressed in a sense. I'm just like, do I want to work on this or just sit down and play Division or something like that? Because like Division is my comfort game, always been, and I'm just like, ugh. Like it just certain thing just makes me so disappointed and sad and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to feel like that, and I'd rather focus on the small positives I have in my life. And the Spotify thing is just like, this is stuff like this outside my control, and just and someone else decide to ruin it. I'm like, ugh, so annoying. But yeah, I'll talk about that. Oh yeah, I don't want to mention that. I was talking about the website and everything, but there's some changes happening on the website. Nothing important, actually. We kind of downscaling, because the website, I was thinking completely shutting down the website because of this. When I was making the website a year ago, it made sense until AI came in and started controlling everything. And when I say AI, is like, you know, AI that scrapes everything, and people just don't use AI for information. And having a website with full of that information is basically not giving me any good. It's just AI scrapes everything. And when people go to ChatGPT or Gemini or wherever and they ask for information, they get that information through there and not through the original source. And it's like, oh, so what's the point doing, you know, all this stuff if AI scrapes everything and I get nothing? And it's only me. It's like I've seen loads of publishers dealing with that problem. I'm talking not publishers like gaming publishers. I'm talking just like general journalistic publishers or wherever you're doing on the internet, right? Loads of companies are dealing with this problem right now, and it's just like the written media, all that kind of stuff, or just any media in this case, like any informational media, is just dying because of AI. So anyway, I'm not gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about the podcast. Like I'll talk about I'll talk on Patreon. I'll talk about that on Patreon. But anyway, I'm just gonna end this here. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for interacting with the podcast. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings. Thank you guys for everything. Don't forget to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. And yeah, thank you guys for all your support. Please interact with us. Tell us how you feel about the new update. How's everything going? Whatever the case may be. Let us know. Tell us everything, you know. I'd love to hear your feedback, all that kind of stuff. Join our Discord, it's in the description, all that kind of stuff, right? So, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for everything. And we'll see you on the next episode. Be a nice person. Don't be a douchebag. See ya.